All right, let's get into it.
Hi, John.
Hi, buddy.
Are you okay over there?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm okay. Actually, I'm like Alexander the Third, bro. Fucking great.
I've never met him.
He's great.
Yeah?
Apparently, he was great.
Wasn't he Alexander the Great?
He was.
I'd see the third. It threw me off.
Yeah, that's the joke.
Are you a third?
I'm a junior.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm a junior. Funny story though. My grandpa was my grandpa was mad that I didn't name my son the third, and I was like, I didn't know my dad, man. Like, your son kind of fucked this up.
Yeah, right? I was like, we could have kept this going.
Yeah, like me, you know. Maybe you were better a dad, Grandpa. Like, I don't know. I'm tired of this, Grandpa.
It's too damn bad. So I'm just going to jump right in.
Yeah.
We are smoking Victory cigars for two reasons today.
Yes, we are.
One, because it is an Independence Day.
Yes, it is.
So we are celebrating one of the greatest victories in the world.
Damn right.
We wouldn't be here if it wasn't for that.
And we haven't had to give a shit about what the British said since then.
Yeah, for the most part.
Yeah. Maybe a little in 1812. But we still won that one too.
We're pretty good at those.
Yeah.
And then there's a second reason we're smoking a Victory cigar.
Yeah,
you had a little experience.
Had a big experience.
Recently.
Yeah.
About a week. Well, I mean,
when
we're
out,
sitting down recording this, we're like,
oh, it'll be a week when this comes out.
But we're like less than 30 hours out.
We're less
48.
than 24 from the last one.
Okay.
Yeah.
And we wanted to sit down and capture this sooner than later, while it's still fresh in your brain.
Yep.
But go ahead and tell everybody what and who this past weekend you got to spend some time with and doing.
This past weekend, I was invited to a retreat with a number of other veterans to sit with ayahuasca.
Okay.
And to learn from that medicine, as they say, right? During this experience, and it was a 3-day long retreat.
Okay.
Where it consisted of multiple experiences with ayahuasca, with psilocybin, as well as with a substance called changa, which is another South American DMT derivative.
Okay.
Yeah. That's what I got to do this weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So let's just get right into it then. I'm not even going to try to preface anything else anymore.
Sure.
I have questions. I want knowledge.
Hit some questions, buddy.
So let's just start from the beginning. So
Well, the beginning really starts 2.5 weeks ago.
Yeah, that. And let's start even before that. How did you, who is it and how did you hear about him?
So I went, I heard about, as you know, I run an organization here in San Antonio called SATMAR, the San Antonio Marines. It's a male Marine veteran group that consists of about 1,600 of us or so. A gentleman, one of the guys in there, obviously I'm not going to say names because this is illegal. It is
redacted.
It is redacted. But one of the gentlemen in there dropped a flyer. I was like, hey, does this interest anybody? And I immediately said, yep. You know, so I sent him a message. Hey, man, tell me more. Like I've always been curious about taking this step in my journey of life. You know, tell me more about how I could be involved. And he sent me this flyer, and he told me they were doing a veterans retreat. And I was like, oh, that sounds amazing, right?
Right.
I reached out to them, and they're called the Gathering of Tribes, and their website is thegatheringoftribes.org.
Okay.
Now, there is gatheringoftribes.org. This is thegatheringoftribes.org to make sure, because there's two different things. And what they do is they facilitate the experience of sitting with ayahuasca. And as they call it, the mother medicine, right? Like the mother ayahuasca. And then you also, there's also a number of other services and things that they do. This was their first really long retreat. They usually just do nightly things. This was the first and the biggest one that they had done so far.
Yeah.
The gentleman who runs the ceremony is a former Army grunt. He's a former 11 series guy.
Nice.
He's got a wife. She's involved heavily. She's one of the catalysts of this ceremony.
Yeah.
As well. I would say probably the main catalyst of the ceremony.
Okay.
You know, and her energies towards this ceremony is amazing, right? And then so I reached out to them via the phone number and was like, "Hey, this is me.
Yep.
This is what's going on. This is, you know, how I have a perception of ayahuasca, right. And I'd like to know more." And she talked to me for about 20 minutes. We just kind of BS'd, and, you know, absolute sweetheart. Her name's Debbie. She's great, you know, and she invited me. So I showed up. Well, first, so when you partake in this kind of journey, it starts with what's called a dieta, all right, which is a diet. Okay. And the diet essentially starts about 2 weeks before. Okay. And there's a number of things you need to cut out of your life.
Yeah.
And sacrifice in order for the medicine to work better. Right. And that said, it's things like pork. You got to cut out pork, red meat, complex carbs.
Yeah.
They tell you to cut out sex and masturbation, but happy wife, happy life. You know what I mean? Like that didn't happen. Yeah. All right. And she was even like, it's not that big of a deal, but you know, like, you know, medicine still do its job. Right.
Right.
And really eat clean for like 2 weeks coming up. And then on the last 3 days, it is a 72-hour fast of nothing but water.
Yeah.
Which is a guy like me who really likes food.
It's tough.
It was hard. That was one of the hardest things I've done in a while, man.
Yeah.
That was a challenge.
Okay.
I ended up going 80 hours because it went a little longer than I thought.
Did you lose track of time or what?
Oh yeah.
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 No, like that's why. So it was just a fast up until you got there, or it's just
up until you got there. Like the last 3 days before, like I was going there on Friday.
Okay.
So I started my fast at 8:00 on Wednesday night. Mm-hmm. All right. I think
because you were getting there 8:00 Friday night.
Yeah, that was when they said the ceremony was going to begin around 8:00.
Oh, okay.
Ceremony ended up not beginning until like 1 a.m.
Like I'm fucking starving.
And I wasn't. But the good news is, misery loves company.
Yeah.
And I'm around a bunch of other vets. It was like 14 veterans.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
It was a.
Okay.
It was a spectacle, man.
Yeah.
It was a powerful fucking gathering, right?
See, all I picture in my mind is like 14 guys just out of their mind, running around the woods, puking and shitting themselves.
Yeah, there's some of that. And then there's some of the opposite. Some of it's just I'm going to lay down and chill, you know. And I myself, I learned that I'm more of a chill solo traveler.
Yeah.
Right. Like I like just fucking like you've seen me on psilocybin.
Yeah.
And I'm a goofy fucking weirdo
Yeah.
on psilocybin. Right. Like this is different.
Right.
This was such a more intense experience.
So I feel like for me, like and we get right back into the timeline of events.
Sure.
But it just, so like you just said, like when like you were on psilocybin and you're very social, very okay with being around a whole bunch of people because we're in an environment that there was a lot around us.
We were,
way more than I'm usually comfortable with.
Yeah. I felt comfortable there though when we did that.
We
I
had
felt really
the right group of people.
I felt real comfortable with you and Mal and
Yep.
you know everybody. My wife was with me.
Right.
Who, like, I learned this
Yeah.
weekend that my wife is my home.
Yeah.
Like that's how I recenter. It's all about her.
Yeah.
Like, and thank God, right? Jesus. Yeah. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But for me personally, my environment dictates what I do, like how much.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
But yeah, so go ahead.
this was a intense like camping.
Yeah.
like we were intense.
Literally
and figuratively. Like, so we were intense, you know, like, so I had a tent set up and I'm a little bit of a bougie camper, you know, cause I spent my time in the ground.
Yeah.
Right?
I don't have to do that anymore.
So I got like a really nice one of those Insta pop-up tents, which by the way, 10 out of 10.
Is it the inflatable ones or
No,
Okay.
it's just like it's got like extendables with like the buttons. Oh, dude, it's like a pop-up like you would do for like an event, but it's a tent.
Oh, that's cool.
It's awesome. It's set up in 1 minute. It is set up. It's so good, dude. You can set up with one hand.
Yeah.
It's so great. And it's like an 8-person tent because I wanted space.
2 rooms.
So I got the 1-room one, but it's big enough, right? Like, but I also brought like a field toilet just in case because I had heard about the experience.
Well, that I mean, you've had better times with your stomach over the years.
That's also true. Yeah. Like I also am a poster child for IBS for sure. Yeah. Thanks, Iraq. Like, and then I had like a really nice cot. I bought a new cot that kind of like a lawn chair one that kind of like comes up.
Yeah.
So I could sleep sitting up the way
Yeah.
I sleep at home and stuff. And I got a really nice mattress pad for it, like a nice memory of home. So I was very, very comfortable. Wrapped it in a whoopee, and I had a cooling blanket that I threw on top of me. That's what I slept under. Like, I mean, I had a ceiling fan. I got a ceiling fan for my tent with a remote. And I had a little air conditioner and one of those U-line tables. Like, I mean, I had a setup. Dude. Like, my cooler was in there with ice.
You know, you have
like,
to though.
Well, I wanted to be comfortable.
Yeah.
You know, I wanted those little creature comforts to bring myself back to reality if I needed to, right? And for safety.
Yeah.
You know, because if I'm out of my damn mind, I at least want to know that my environment's safe. You know.
Right.
So that was a big one. But yeah, Friday after the fast, I'm starving. I get there. I start meeting people, other veterans. There was 2 brothers who had flown in from they'd flown in from Vegas, but they're from like 8 miles from the California border in Nevada.
Okay.
Good dudes. One of them's a president of a bike club. They're both in a bike club out there. Real good guys, right? Nice. I actually talked to them about you a little bit. They spent some time down in Phoenix area and stuff as well. So I was like, oh, fucking A, you know, like real good dudes. Other guys and people from across the spectrum, right? You know, you got your hippie dippies, you got your, you know, your new age weirdos. Yeah, man, whatever. And then you got dudes who are the skeptics like me. And, you know, then you got the, you know, the realists and stuff that are like, okay, let's see what this is about.
Was it co-ed or all male?
It was co-ed.
Okay.
We had 3 female veterans with us as well.
Yeah.
And some of these stories, dude, and the reasons that these people were all there.
So did you guys have like a campfire talk before?
We did.
You guys like sit around and was it like an AA meeting where you're like, hi, I'm Mikey.
Yeah.
I'm super fucked up and this is some of the stuff I've been through.
Kinda.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And like I wrote it. So I took pretty copious notes.
Yeah.
Because you and I had talked about doing this podcast
before you even went.
Like right before I went. And I was like, dude, that's a good idea. And so because of that, I was like, I want to take notes. Mm-hmm. So I had this notebook with me the entire time. Now I will preface this. If anybody found this and just read it, this looks like a schizophrenic wrote this. Like there's some wild shit in these pages that I'm going to have to explain. Like,
yeah. I mean, also, you don't have to hand that book to anybody.
True. But I might just for fun. Like I thought about like, what if I leave it on a park bench? Like type of stuff.
It's a whole new YouTube channel right here.
Yeah, right.
It's just called Mikey's Notebook.
First thing that I experienced was this substance called hape. All right.
Okay.
Which is I brought some with me. All right. It's this little deal here. Don't smell too close to it because it's a very fine powder. It's tobacco. It's a Peruvian tobacco powder. That is a derivative of just regular tobacco. It's nothing crazy. It's legal. We're not doing anything.
Right.
It's fine. I know you don't care, but it is legal. And how it's administered is someone blows it into your nose with a smell the lid. You can get a good whiff on the lid. It's very earthy. Like it's meant to ground you. It's a masculine medicine in their world, right? It's meant to be like a grounding. And before you do ayahuasca, you do this.
What does it feel like?
Well, interesting enough, I brought a caripe, which is this was a gift from a guy named Mondo, who was one of the teachers out there. I would say I thought of him as like a teacher type of guy. Mm-hmm. And this is a self-administering one. Normally they have like a long one like this where they do it and it's all like they think.
Yeah,
mind,
I've seen it
heart,
before.
They pass it to your heart and then They literally, you put it, they hand it to you.
It's like a little brass thing.
They can be.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
this was like a bone. It was like it looked like a bone like thing. And
Yeah.
like, and you put it in your own nostril, then they blow it in, and they blow it pretty hard. You know what I mean?
I want to make sure it gets up there.
But the secret is that you hold your breath and then you breathe out through your mouth because you don't want that stuff going down your throat, right? And then you wait for a minute, let it absorb a little bit, and then you blow your nose, right? Now this would not be very good podcasting because it burns a bit for a minute.
I was going to say it can't be fun.
It's not a great time at first,
yeah.
but I enjoyed it.
So what do you like? So you said it takes it gets blown up your nose, and then you exhale,
yeah,
and then you let it soak in, and then you blow your nose.
yeah.
How soon after that? Like, is it like a mind? Is it a body thing? Like, what is it? What do you feel afterwards when it, I don't know, quote unquote, kicks in?
There's not really a kick in. It's just it's instantaneous. It burns.
Yeah,
It brings you back to zero. It's made to ground you,
like ooh, okay,
just to bring you into the moment.
Okay.
You know, like you got everything else going on. No, this snaps you into the moment. All right. The same way a cigar would. You know, the same way any kind of nicotine does, right? Any kind of tobacco product really does, right? It grounds you in the moment.
Except this, you're just shoving into your brain.
Correct.
Or somebody else is shoving it into your brain.
Correct. And there are... The crazy thing is people do it differently. Some people like straight hero dose you, like just like blow it into this tube, and it's like boom, and it hits the back of your brain.
Like a little puff comes out of the corner of your eye.
Dude, I'm telling you, dude. Like it's like just out the ears and shit. And then there's also, sometimes it's gentler, you know, and it's like, oh, okay, and
Is it
super weird.
The people that were they doing it based on their how hard they blew it in your nose, based on kind of where you were at that moment?
No.
Okay.
So when you have
I don't think
somebody,
I was just like hammering it because he's like, oh, we got to bring it home.
well, I mean, not that I know of.
Yeah.
Like the very first time I did it, like I showed up and he's like, "Would you like some?" And this was before we were doing the ceremony. This is hours before. This was when I first got there. I got there around 2:00 in the afternoon.
Nice.
This is when I got there.
So you're like me. I'm like, oh, okay. I'm a little nervous about this. I want to know.
I want to scope the area. I want to have
some
see my
recon.
setup. Yeah, exactly. I want to do a little recon. Sure, dude. Because and like, shout out to my buddy Jared. You know Jared as well. Jared was like, "Hey man, if you need me, you call me. Me and Melissa come out.
Yeah.
We'll drive your truck back. Like, we'll help you. Like, if you're not comfortable,
Right.
And I was like, that gave me a little peace of mind. So I really appreciate him for that. You know, that was real cool of him. Look at that ash, man.
They're victories, man.
That's true, dude. Good stuff. So I had that peace of mind in the back of my head, which helped a lot. You know, having a little bit of support was good.
Right.
But as soon as I got there and I met everybody, I was like, I'm good.
Yeah,
I'm like, these
I
are
don't need to make a phone call.
Yeah, dude, like I'm the weirdo here. You know what I mean? Like,
it's really tough because essentially you're willingly walking into an environment where you have to be at one of the most vulnerable points of your life.
Yeah.
And it's not like you're consciously making the decision to be that vulnerable. You're consciously making the decision to do ayahuasca, but to put yourself in that mental and physical state, like there's a lot of trust that goes into that.
Absolutely.
And blind trust when you're walking into it with a group and with an organization that you're not
Strangers. Strangers.
Like you physically met them that day, that Friday when you showed up at 2 p.m.
Yeah.
Right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Like that's a lot.
It was an adventure, man. But that's really what I was looking for, right? Like I wanted the adventure.
Yeah.
So I get there. I tried the hape. Fun side note: it's pronounced hape. It's spelled R-A-P-E with a accent. So it's spelled rape. So and I was like, why's the masculine one got to be called rape, dude? That's messed up. Yeah. And I as always, I brought a little comic relief to everything,
right.
and you know, because that's how I roll. And they actually really appreciated me for that. Right? It was nice.
But I can see it, man. Like I can see people so far in their own head.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And you probably saw it there.
Oh,
like there was probably guys that were like, yeah.
Like I watched someone have what's called an ego death.
Okay.
Which
I want to know all about this.
It's one of the most intense things I've ever seen, dude.
Yeah.
People, like, we're men.
Yeah.
You know, we compartmentalize especially our generation, better than anybody on the planet right now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Especially with the trauma, the veteran trauma and shit that we've gone through and things, we compartmentalize shit.
Yep.
You know, and it's a safety mechanism.
Yeah.
And we do that because of our ego. We have to stay strong, right? We have to stay strong for others, for those around us. That's what we do.
Yeah.
To watch that part of a person straight fucking like fall off of them
Yeah.
is fucking powerful to watch.
So what was it like?
For that guy?
Yeah. Well, like for your experience.
From my experience watching him.
Because, I mean, you can only guess what.
Now, remember, I'm under the influence during this as well.
That's totally.
You know what I mean? But it was... To watch him go through his ego death, I would say it was an amazing mix of fear and freedom.
Okay.
You know what I mean? I wrote about it. It's pretty wild, man. So like you could tell by my theme in this book, in these notes, like how I like progressed during the weekend, right? Like where my acceptance started happening, right? Because me being a skeptic, I came in like, I was like, I have a sinking feeling that from a lot of these people are full of shit and are feeding off each other. Hippies trying to one-up each other is hilarious because it is.
Yeah.
Like there was one dude who was bragging about having an ego death at one point, and I was like, why are you bragging about it that?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I was like, that seemed
Like
really weird.
on a different experience?
Well, they were like, yeah, on a different experience. But they were trying to like, they would tell their experiences, and it was like us telling war stories like, oh, well, I did this. Oh, well, you think that's cool. I did this. And it's like, and it was like the same thing. And I was like, I don't know how I feel about that.
Like what, doing ayahuasca?
No, this was just us sitting around bullshitting.
Oh.
But just watching like hippie grounded people
Okay,
one up each other was
I
really funny.
I thought
to
they
me.
were talking about like prior experiences they had with ayahuasca.
Here's the cool thing. There was very few of us who had ever had a prior experience with ayahuasca. This was almost all of us' first time sitting with her. You know what I mean? As they say. They gave me this mouth spray. I'm not sure what it's called. I wish I would have wrote it down. I'll find out for you.
Yeah.
But it made my mouth, it made my entire mouth feel like it was moving. It felt like it felt like I had like ants in my mouth. And it all like moves and shit. It's fucking wild. And I was like, everybody's like, I hate it. I'm like, I fucking dig this. This is cool as shit. It was just a cool feeling, man. It was like using my soda stream, but like, you know, in my mouth. Like it was crazy.
That's funny.
And it's, you know, separating from self, giving up is a necessity, is what they would tell us. If it's not working, breathe. And then try out one of the tools. And some of the tools they're talking about is the haripe and the hape and the fucking. They had this other thing called mapacho, which is another Peruvian tobacco. It's a cigar.
Yeah.
Essentially, it's a cigar,
but it's a
special.
paper. Yeah.
It's just natural. It's just a natural tobacco. It's nothing crazy.
Okay.
It's just called a mapacho, you know. And that's it was good. It was like smoking a Camel non-filter that was just really strong. You know what I mean? That's what I felt like. It was like, oh, it's like an old Lucky Strike, a little thicker, like a Camel wide size version of a Lucky Strike, right? Like, and I was like, okay. And those are supposed to be tools used to like help ground you if you feel like you're going in a bad direction.
Okay.
So they do have things that in their world mitigate the good and the bad, right? And then they just told me, they're like, you might not feel shit for 2 hours. 2 cups of ayahuasca a night. That's the usual dose.
Yeah.
You know, they do a ritualistic cleansing with like sage and everything and stuff. And I just wrote ritualistic cleansing smells awesome because it did.
Yeah.
You know, and then I got the pre-hape by the feminine. Debbie gave me mine before my ayahuasca trip and presented me with the stuff. And it actually did feel different. That was really notable.
Yeah.
Because the first time I had it done, I got it done by her husband, Jonathan is his name. He did it, and it was great. I enjoyed it. I was like, oh, I like this stuff because I'm a tobacco user. You know, as a tobacco user, they even told me a lot of people who do tobacco on a normal before they try this, they end up really liking this and they end up using it. They end up becoming like, they're like, yeah, this is awesome, you know, because they're like, this is fun.
Well, it's the whole like a snuff back in the day, right?
It's literally what it is. It's like snuff.
It wasn't something you packed in your lip. It was finely ground like that, tobacco.
Same shit.
And you literally would, if you do that with your thumb, those 2 tendons right here, make a little hole.
Yep.
and you'd fill that.
Yeah, I remember that. Oh, this thing.
Yep.
Boop.
You fill that and snort it real quick, call it a day.
Yeah.
But what would happen is that tobacco would eat away your, like literally the whole side of your nose would fall out. So, yeah.
Yeah. So everything in moderation, right?
Right.
But it was weird just having that done by a different person did provide a different experience.
Okay.
And even I was sober. I wasn't
Yeah,
on
yeah.
anything yet. And I was like, I noticed it.
Okay.
And I was like, I haven't drank this Kool-Aid yet. Why am I already feeling like I drank the Kool-Aid? You know what I mean? I was like, no, there's an actual difference. You know, I mean, coming at it from the logical standpoint of, you know, with an open mind,
Right.
but still, like, you know, like it was impressive. And then I wrote other people's stories are humbling. Some of these people, there was one individual who had MS and couldn't walk a few years ago. Started with plant-based medicines and is now walking. She drove from Colorado to be there.
Holy shit.
There was a young man, real good little dude whose wife passed away.
Yeah.
And he had been dealing with that trauma. You know, I mean, these people have real fucking problems, which humbled me a lot because I'm like, I'm here on an exploration of myself and to work out internal shit. But these people, my problems compared to them, be happy where you're at. You know what I mean? Like, you know, and that's just anybody. That's like, you know, it's like, damn, dude, like they're really struggling and really trying to break through and find answers, you know, and it's awesome that they're brave enough to do it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because that takes fucking moral courage that is just so deeper than anything you see on the surface. You know, it was so impressive to watch, but it was very, very humbling, right? And so that was wild. And the big thing about ayahuasca is you want to come in with your intentions very clear, right?
Okay.
Because let's be real here. It's a substance you put in your body. Whatever your mindset is, it's going to amplify.
Right.
So if you mindset something, it's going to amplify that.
Yeah.
So my intention was I wanted to ask if I'm a good person.
Yeah.
And if I'm not, how do I become a better man, husband, and father?
Okay.
Right? That was my first intention with my first cup of ayahuasca, right? That's what I wanted. I wanted to know if am I a good person? You know, I've done a lot of bad shit in my life.
Yeah.
I've been through a lot of shit. You know, am I good? Or do I need to fucking change my ways and change my path, right? Like, that's really what I want to know.
Yeah.
The human brain's an amazing thing.
It really
And
is.
we don't unlock even a fucking iota of it on the daily.
No.
And what I think this medicine does is it just lets you explore your own fucking consciousness, your own brain, while being in nature and being connected to it and feeling like you are part of everything.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Which is real fucking cool.
You fucking hippie.
I know, right? Dude, I'm telling you. It's fucking weird, dude. And then they were like, while you're taking this medicine, don't forget to thank the people who risked their livelihood to bring it to us. And I was like, the drug trafficker. Thank the drug trafficker. Got it. I wrote that down. I was like, don't forget to thank the drug trafficker. It's what it is, man.
Hey, Pablo. Thanks.
Thanks, homie.
Appreciate it.
I guess I took it at 11 p.m. I took the medicine at 11 p.m. All right, is what I wrote.
Okay. So did you had this notebook with you the whole time?
Yep.
Did they
encouraged it.
That was my next question. Like, was it something that they briefed you guys on beforehand? Like, hey, bring a notebook? Or no?
I was the only one writing shit down.
Really?
And I was like, when they ask, people would ask me, they're like, why are you writing stuff down? I was like, for a number of reasons. One, I have a TBI that makes me not remember shit.
Yeah.
And I don't want to forget this experience.
Exactly.
I was like, two, I want a document of what I'm seeing in real time.
Yeah.
You know, I want to know what I'm seeing in real time so I can go back and reflect. You know, my first impression, it tastes like asshole. It's so fucking bad.
So it's a drink?
It is and it's just a little Dixie cup worth.
Okay.
Like, you know, it's not even a full Dixie cup. They give you about a fucking half to 2/3 Dixie cup.
What the fuck? I ordered a double.
Careful what you wish for on that shit. It's like the bottom of a French press.
Was it a little chewy?
There's some chunk in there.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's not
So
good.
did you sip it or just down the
No,
hatch?
it's down the hatch, and then you rinse your mouth out and get fucking rid of that taste because you don't want to taste it. Like, it tastes like butthole, dude.
Really?
It's not a good tasting medicine.
Okay.
It's like medicine, you know what I mean? Like, you know, like, sure, you know. I was like, Carlos is a good dude for giving me his fruit water. My buddy Carlos is the guy who turned me onto this entire thing. He was out there with me.
Okay.
And he brought water that had fruit in it. and it did flavor the water enough, and it did really help. So, pro tip: bring a little fruit water.
So now, were you restricted on what you were allowed to bring or drink or eat or any of that?
You're restricted on what you're allowed to eat. You have to follow the dieta. But I brought pogey bait. I brought lickies and chewies just in case. I didn't.
Yeah.
I didn't until they told me I could. Until they told me, hey, you can eat stuff that's within the
dietary restrictions.
Yeah.
Okay.
I brought like cashews and like almonds and some dried mango, shit like that. That was all good, right? Yeah. So I was like, okay, that was good. I thank God for HEB's got the organic like system, and pull down the little deals and all that.
Yeah.
Perfect for it, right? Like,
so they're essentially they're having you follow this diet and fast and do all this stuff leading up to it, so that way your body can process everything at a much faster rate.
Well, that's what it is. There's a reason you cut out dairy and you cut out stuff because it uses the same receptors in your brain. It gives you the same dopamine boost every time you eat it. That's why we love cheese so much, man. That's why I like bacon. That's why I like all this shit, because it hits those receptors, right? They want those receptors ready to accept ayahuasca, because it'll make the experience just a little bit more hard hitting, more punch, and more worthwhile. I was like, I rinsed my cup and took the bottom of the sediment. Holy fuck, gross. Let's do this. That's what I wrote. I took that at 11. I puked at 11:26.
Really?
Tasting it twice was rough. All right.
So okay. So 26 minutes later, you threw up.
I did, and I shouldn't have. I wish I'd have fought it longer.
Yeah.
I think I ruined the first experience because of that. All right. Don't get me wrong. I was feeling something. Like I felt tingly. I felt like I wrote, my body feels fuzzy. It's a very nice feeling. It's very mellow. Mm-hmm. Diarrhea at 12:10.
Okay.
Felt awesome. Just pissing out your ass. Just everything. Just fucking. Like I peed out of my ass for like a solid minute and a half.
So are you in like a bathroom, or are you just in the woods somewhere?
Thankfully, they got a porta-john. They had a porta-john delivered.
Just one?
Just one.
Was there a line?
There was. There was. Not everybody made it.
Oh, no.
Yeah. Not everybody made it, but I did.
Okay.
Debbie is singing. It's nice, and it covers the sound of my diarrhea. That's what I wrote.
Were you shitting while you wrote this?
Yes. Yes, I had a headlamp on in the bathroom, and I'm writing this. Wow. And it's still just constantly just pouring out of me. And I'm like, what the fuck? I'm not fucked up yet. I feel a little fuzzy, but I'm not fucked up yet.
I've spent way too much time with you on ranches because that mental image is too vivid. I shouldn't have a clear picture like that. Oh,
no
my
shit.
God.
So at 12:25, I was like, after I shit, I didn't feel anything. I really hope that it starts back up again. I hope I didn't ruin it.
So was that something that everybody experienced?
Nope. I was the first to puke.
Okay.
I was the first to puke. And I wish I would have tried to hold on longer. Right.
Yeah.
Took the second dose at 1:10. Okay. 1:10 a.m. So that's to caveat. During that sober period is when I watched the ego death.
Okay.
That's when I saw it happen.
So I
was with it enough.
So
that I was like,
was he talking? Was it?
Yeah.
Like, who was he talking to?
Himself. Talking's a strange way to say it. He was screaming. I'm sorry.
Okay. It
was wild. It was fucking intense.
Did anybody do anything?
Yeah.
I'm just very ignorant.
So there were volunteers there that were there to help. Problem is, they also took the medicine. So it's like, how do you help if you're also fucked up? You know what I mean? but it works. Somehow it works. It's almost as if they were like, because they have responsibilities.
Right.
Their intention when they take the medicine is, I'm taking this medicine with the intention of taking care of this group of people.
You kind of have to be in a similar mindset to be able to understand what these people are going
Well, it's like trip settings, right? Like it's like, you have trip sitters, people who like, you took acid.
Yeah.
Let me make you comfortable, buddy.
Right.
Like let me put on the strobe light. Shit like that. The problem with most headlamps these days that a lot of people buy, they have a strobe function.
Yep.
People kept accidentally hitting it, and we'd be like, no, like, don't do that. It was pretty funny. And here was the other tip. I wrote in parentheses, tip. Stay away from the campfire smoke. It made me puke too fast last time. That's what made me vomit. I was sitting right in the path of the wind. I didn't have any mosquitoes get me, but all the smoke from the fire got me. And that's what made me throw up faster than everybody.
So are you allowed to like could you smoke cigarettes?
I tried. It tastes like shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. When I was on it, I tried.
Okay.
I did. I lit a cigarette to try it. But they have the Capacho. They have like...
Yeah, I just didn't know if they were like very...
I mean, cigars would probably be great. I wish I would have brought some.
Yeah.
I'm kind of mad I didn't, but I didn't. I wasn't sure. I now know that, I would bring cigars next time. I would bring.
Okay.
I would probably bring like Minutemen.
Yeah.
Would be a perfect.
Yeah, that's a long...
So if you're into ayahuasca, warfightertobacco.com's got Minutemen. Fucking perfect, man. It would be good. I think that would be this because, like I said, just like these, they bring you down.
Ritualistic.
And it can be, and it's nice, So
I mean, tobacco's been involved in whether it's cultural or medical rituals pretty much since it was
since
found,
the jump. Since the jump.
Yeah,
it's been around since we've been around.
Yep.
It was one of the very first things that I think human beings ever cultivated. I would assume.
It might, yeah.
So, and that's coming from anywhere from Native Americans to the Mayan to the Amazonian, this is all Amazonian stuff, and ancient Egypt, everybody had some form of tobacco, right?
Some way, shape, or form.
Yeah, they started the stereo, not my shit, but it's soothing. It was like,
so they turned music on.
They did. They turned music on. Well, they were singing, they were dancing. They was around a campfire doing tribal shit.
What kind of music was it?
Like Peruvian. It was like Peruvian jungle.
I was going to ask
music.
if they put on like the local radio.
No. But I am curious if that helps drive it a certain direction. Like if you were to put on, would it change the experience if you put on different music? I don't know.
I think
because
music is, to me, music is something that is way bigger than what people think it is.
I can confirm.
It is. So music is something that it can change your mental state in seconds.
Yeah, for sure.
So I absolutely believe that, that could be a driving force.
Yeah.
Yeah,
dude. Yeah. It was cool. It was very, very cool. This is where it starts hitting me. All right.
Okay, so at this point, right, let's go back on the timeline of the first night. So you already puked and shit yourself.
Yep.
And you're back to feeling normal.
Ish. Yeah.
As normal as...
I feel right now I feel like a microdose.
Okay.
I feel like I'm on a microdose where I'm still chill.
Yeah.
But I'm not really hallucinating anymore.
Right.
I'm not seeing anything. I kept seeing these white patterns in my hands. Light in my hands.
Yeah. Did you have your hand over a flashlight?
No.
Okay.
No. I did. However, I did take my flashlight at one point and start traveling in my arm and shit with it. That was awesome. But that was different. That was just me going, well, that's just fucking cool, right? No, this was natural light emanating from my hands.
Okay.
And I learned what it was later, and I'll get to that later.
Okay.
All right.
So at this point, what kind of environment are you guys in?
Around a campfire.
But is it
under a tree.
Are you on a piece of property somewhere in somebody's backyard? Are you in a city? What?
In this particular case, we're on a piece of property.
Okay.
That's in a backyard. Essentially, they got a few acres.
Okay.
We're not even in the back part of their stuff, but they have neighbors.
Yeah.
There are properties around them. The second night, there was a fucking quinceañera or a concert or something going on till 2 a.m. While we're over here hooping and hollering.
How do you know they were doing the same thing?
There was definitely booze involved with that one. It sounded like a great party.
Yeah.
But you could hear the neighbors' dogs barking and stuff. They're not that far away. And,
Yeah.
it's land tracks. Texas land tracks, right? Like,
Yeah.
you know, it was cool. But I wrote, the profoundness of how serious this ceremony is taken by not only the shaman and his staff, but by the guests is truly amazing.
Yeah.
However, there's always one.
Oh, no.
There's always one.
Yeah.
Right?
So this is, and you wrote this as you took your second dose?
I wrote
or
this
after?
shortly after I took my second dose.
So when they had everyone do your second dose, was it like ringing the dinner bell, getting everybody back, or was everyone already there?
Everybody was kind of already there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nobody had really walked away yet. Everybody was kind of already there. I was the only one that ever really went off on my own.
Yeah.
You know, like, and I didn't even do that during the first cup.
Yeah.
Right. I stayed there and tried to be a part of it, tried to participate and all this. But the problem was I'd gotten sober. I'd gotten kind of sobered up. So I'm looking around, seeing these people go through these profound experiences. And I'm kind of like, I'm jealous.
Right.
Part of me is jealous that I'm not experiencing what they're experiencing, because what it's like to do ayahuasca, especially the first time, it's terrifying, but it's joyful at the same time. And I'll get this. This is fun. I puked at 2:05.
And you took it at 1.
I took it at 1:10.
Okay,
I
so you
puked
got-
at 2:05. So I held
so you
it in
got
for
double.
I held it in for like an hour this time. Right
Now, did everybody puke?
Everybody pukes.
Really?
Everybody pukes. There were a couple people who didn't, but they purged in other ways, and then they purged harder the second time.
So is it like, is it something it's going to happen? Or
It's your body's metaphysical response to having something put in it that's doing something to your body, is to get rid of it, right?
Yeah.
So if you can hold that down, if you can resist that, then let it absorb a little bit more, just a little bit more, you know? And that's what they kept telling me. Just let it absorb a little bit more, and you're gonna know. You're gonna know. And they're fucking right. Because as soon as I puked,
Is this still night 1?
this is still night 1.
Yeah, okay.
Night 1,
This is
dose 2.
Night 1, part 2.
This is night 1, dose 2.
I just want to make sure.
Yeah. Then I just wrote, I'm strong.
So when they say that you'll know, you'll know like when to puke, or you'll know like when it kicks in. I mean, obviously you're going to know when it kicks in, but like, so was it like a defining moment of like, okay, I'm not fighting this anymore?
It's almost like it tells you, hey, it's okay to puke.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's almost like it's like you're fighting it, and then it chills, and it's like, you're good, relax, you're here with me.
Yeah.
I got you, dog. And then it's like, hey, go ahead.
Oh.
And it's like, oh, thanks. Okay. And it's like, all right. Oh,
Okay.
It's like that. All right. You know, so it's almost like if you sacrifice, and if you put in the sacrifice,
Yeah.
like ayahuasca actually is like, hey man, it's cool.
I got you.
Go nuts.
Nice.
You know? Yeah. So
Okay.
I thought that was kind of cool, right?
Okay.
And then I wrote, people keep ruining this. Too many people. Every time I would start to go deep, somebody would walk up and like they'd start yelling, or they would do something like this because they're having their own journeys, right? And I'd be like, so I'm not mad at them, but I'm a solo guy.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
I wanted to do this.
Yeah. Like I know that I am solo.
Yeah.
I don't
And it's
I don't want to be around people. I got
Yeah.
shit I got to deal with.
and maybe that's part of my ego, right? Like I don't know, right? So this is what, and I don't remember writing this shit. This is just me scratching shit down. I hear everything. Look how that's written.
I know.
I hear everything. Like I could hear bugs in the grass.
Nice.
I could hear fucking eagles,
Yeah.
like owls, like flying. Owls are silent when they fly, man. I could hear them. Like I could hear fucking everything, dude. It was insane. And it was just like, wow, dude. I was like, I am a fucking hunter. You know what I mean? And it's like, and I kind of clicked into like warrior mentality.
Yeah.
Where I was like, this is okay. That is who I am.
Yeah.
You know, like that's who I've been my whole life. I've been a fucking warrior, a warfighter. You know, so are you. So are you.
Right.
You know, that's really what it is. You know, it's at our fucking core. That's what we were made to be in some form or fashion.
Yeah.
And granted, we chose to do that.
Right.
But when we did it, we went all in.
Yeah.
And that is us. Right. And that's kind of where my mentality went. And I was just like, so it was almost like the hunter-gatherer sense of the word, where like my senses got turned up to fucking 11, where I could just like, I can hear everything. I could see shit. I could still see. Like driving just yesterday and today, just driving, I'm like every fucking movement. I'm like, boom, boom, boom. I'm aware of it. It's like being on fucking like it's being like, remember hypervigilance when you first got back? It's like that. It was
in a good way or a bad way?
in a great way.
Okay.
Which I never had experienced because hypervigilance isn't fun.
So usually it's the bad.
It's usually the other way.
Yeah.
And in this particular sense, it was fucking beautiful.
Okay.
It was amazing.
I have a just a quick on that. Was it the hypervigilance? Was it just being aware and not necessarily having the fear side of it attached to it?
Yeah.
It was just you were just like, all right, I know that's going on, but I'm not afraid.
You were aware of everything around you.
Fucking A.
You know, it was just I am aware of everything that's happening within my world right now. I know fucking everything because I can hear it, I can see it, I can smell it, I can do everything. Right? It was just wildly intense.
Okay.
Here's where my silly shit started kicking in, right? Mm-hmm. It's like, I really don't like feet. Just to be clear, just so we're clear, I don't find feet attractive, and I underlined it.
Okay. Okay.
And then I wrote, I'm not a piece of shit. Mission accomplished.
Okay.
Right? My new mission, build up others. That's how you solve problems. Tough fucking love.
Yeah.
Everyone fucks up. Learning how to bounce back from true turmoil is a test of a man. And probably also a lady, but I'm not sure. And then the next thing is it just says, fuck dogs are cool. We really don't deserve them. Empathy doesn't exist unless you're a dog. And I confirmed to myself, empathy does not exist.
Okay.
It's like the reason that happened, I'm laying in a fucking, at one point, they came over, they're like, we need you to come back to the circle, man, da-da-da. And I was like, all right, yeah, no worries. You know, so I came back over, and I'm sitting there, and I'm having a conversation with a tree from a beanbag chair type of thing, and I'm just, like, enjoying myself, and just, after I worked my shit out, all I felt was joy.
Yeah.
Like, after I was like, oh, I'm not a fuck, I answered my intention.
Yeah,
Am I a good person? Yeah, dude, you're good. You're doing great. Am I a good husband and father? Fucking A, you are.
Yeah.
You're doing awesome. And it was just like, after I confirmed to myself that my intention was answered, it was oh, boom.
Yeah.
I'm happy. I'm the happiest I've been in fucking, I can't remember how long.
Okay.
Just pure joy, you know? So I'm just sitting there enjoying myself, sitting in a beanbag chair, watching fucking patterns and these amazing fucking geometrical shapes and fractals and all this crazy stuff in nature.
Yeah.
Like I'm watching, you know, this tree that's just like fucking absolutely just prolific. It's just amazing. And then out of nowhere, the veteran who had drove from Colorado with MS, she had brought her dog with her. Her dog was a little tiny, like one of those little rat dogs.
Yeah.
But she had him like, his name was Ralphie.
Yeah.
And he was cut to look like a lion. So he had a mane and a little puff on his tail. And out of nowhere, Ralphie jumps up on my chest and starts like snuggling with my chest and giving me kisses and shit.
Yeah.
And that's when I was like, fuck, dogs are awesome. I was like, this is so fucking great. And I was just like, I fucking love these guys. Like, it was just so much fun.
Yeah.
Right? And then at 3:30 in the morning, I came down and I was super happy.
Okay.
And
So
I took it at 1. It's about 2 hours for the second dose.
Yeah.
So about 3:30, I started coming down, and they were like, hey, we can eat. So they gave me an apple.
okay.
It was the first food I'd eaten in 3 days. And I was like, oh, man, that's awesome. It was the best apple. I was like, I had an apple. It was arguably the best I've ever had. And then I wrote a reminder for myself. Thank the Christos that's the people who had actually given me the cooling blanket. I was like, the cooling blanket was amazing. It was like and that was day 1, man. Cool. That was the first day. So the first day I had 2 cups of ayahuasca. The first one I was worried that I'd ruined. Turns out I didn't ruin it. It just set the tone.
Okay.
It set the tone. Hey, man, make sure you're ready.
Yeah.
Because we're about to go on a little fucking trip.
Right.
And you're about to learn some shit about yourself.
Yeah.
Like, here's good.
I have a quick question. When you're going through the experience once you've taken and everything, are you instructed to like just sit there, lay down? Are you free to do stuff? Like how regimented is the actual process of taking the medicine?
Very free flowing.
Okay.
Like what worked better for me is I got up and walked around. Every time I would sit down, I would feel nauseous. But when I walk around, I'm a mover.
Yeah, me too. Yep.
So I just walked around in circles, and you're in nature, so it was fine. So, and there's plenty of open space where you could just be alone for a second. They could still see you.
Yeah.
So you're still part of their group, but you're just working shit out. And the coolest thing about the first night, there was a meteor shower that night.
Oh.
That was fucking amazing. That was real cool. So, so after that, I went to bed, laid down, just kind of reflected until about 5 a.m. is when I finally fell asleep. Maybe 4:30, 5 a.m. Actually, I could tell you, I texted Haley. What time did I text her?
So what time did you wake up on Friday morning, before you drove out there?
Like 9 a.m.
Okay, so at this point you're running on like 20 hours.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And 3 days of no food.
No food.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's just a water fast, so you can't have anything, just water.
Just water. Well, I did water, and so I tried electrolytes one night.
Yeah.
Instant diarrhea.
Yeah.
Just
there's
like,
what's it called?
well, my stupid
magnesium citrate is one of the first ingredients in electrolytes.
Well, my stupid ass also used one with an artificial sweetener in it.
Oh, you idiot!
And that shit that was a bad move. That was my fault.
Ultima. It's the only way.
I texted her at 3:54.
Okay.
And I said, I love the fuck out of you. And I'm sober now, so no, it's not the drugs. And of course, her in classic asshole, my wife fashion, was like, is it usually the drugs that makes you love me? I was like, I love you too. So that was good.
You should have been like, I don't know, honey. Let me write this down. I'll let you know after tomorrow.
So the cool thing about this is after this is my fast was over, right? I didn't have to fast anymore, right?
Yep.
And I could eat up until 3 p.m. on day 2.
Okay.
So they allowed me to eat. But again,
Now,
staying within the restrictions of the diet.
Did they supply food, or did you
They did.
bring your own?
They did. So I actually brought like a couple bags of fruit, like a bag of apples, a bag of pears, and a bag of almonds to donate to them.
Okay.
To bring to everybody, right? Just
Yeah.
because I knew they had people flying in. I'm local.
Yeah.
Way easier for me to do this stuff. Plus, I wanted to help out. You know what I mean? Because they didn't charge me for this experience,
Yeah.
man. This was completely free of charge.
Wow.
You know, and like they work off pure donation only.
Yeah.
And which is fucking amazing. You know, because you want to talk about, one, you're risking your life, you're risking your livelihood,
Yeah.
you're risking your family to provide medicine to these people
Yep.
for free
Yeah.
because you feel that it's the right thing to do.
Well, you can't really charge them for it. Then it's really illegal.
Well, that's super illegal. Yeah. Yeah, that's true. That's very true. That's very true. I did Cash App him $300 today. And I was like,
Well, that's a donation of their nonprofit.
yes. I was like, what you're doing is important work, man.
Yeah.
Like, so keep doing it.
Yep.
You know, so day 2 started. They brought in a lady to do guided meditation.
Okay. What? Okay. I want to know more about this.
I'm not a big guided meditation guy.
Okay.
Like, you know, like the ooh thing and shit,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
with the bowls and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Especially when I look down and she's got like a tattoo of a spider web on her elbow and shit. And I'm just like,
It's like, oh, so you got out of prison, needed a job, and
It's like, bitch, you're from the South Side. You're a South Sider, bitch. Like, no fucking, come on now. like, you know,
oh, the reason I asked, like, I am an absolute believer in meditation and breath work and things like that.
Sure. Well, it calms you down. Right?
It's the only way that the human brain, for lack of anything else, can start to learn how to control the subconscious aspects of how your body functions.
Okay.
Right now, you can't just be like, I'm going to lower my heart rate. And you just think about it and your heart rate goes down.
Yeah.
But if you work on your breathing, it directly correlates with
It's true.
Years ago when I was living in Belgium, I did an adaptive sports clinic, and I got certified to run all the Wounded Warrior guys through the adaptive sports stuff that the Army offers. And one of the things that we got to do in that course was we did a brief, like, half morning meditation thing. And essentially they were teaching us techniques of breath work in case we're in a position where a veteran's losing their fucking mind that is another tool we can use. But one of the coolest things that they did is they put us through this sequence, and they're like, follow along, blah, blah, blah. We're going to show you how you can control your subconscious. And I'm like, okay, cool story, bro.
Sure.
And they walked me through this whole scenario, right? And we did all this breath work. We got into a right, mental state. And then they walked me into my own kitchen. And it was amazing because we had a group of like 12 people. And they said this, it was just, okay, I'm going to tell you what to do, and everybody needs to do it. And it affected every single person because in their brain, they walked into their own kitchen. I didn't walk into yours. You didn't walk into mine because you're meditating and you're in that state. When they tell you to go in the kitchen, open your fridge and do all this stuff. And then you pick out a lemon out of your fridge and then you cut it in half and you take a bite out of it. Right when they say that, every single person's mouth watered in the room. And I'm like, motherfucker.
Mine just did when you said that, dude.
And we weren't even there. Yeah. Like, we didn't even go through the breath,
Yeah.
And that was just like, it blew my mind.
It's like it's like on Fight Club. Go deeper into your cave.
Yeah.
Yeah,
but
find your power animal and all that.
It's very similar.
It's the same shit, though. That's what it is. Yeah. I mean, it's real. Guided meditation and it's a form of like hypnosis almost, and yeah.
Yep.
And really all it is just fucking getting out of your head. Get out of your head and just relaxing things that you don't usually relax.
Get your head out of society.
Or that part, yeah.
But you're getting back in your head. And
yeah, that's a better way. That's probably a better way to say it. Yeah, you're getting back into your head. Yeah, instead of listening to noise,
everything else around.
Yeah, you have to block out the noise, right? Yeah. And that's kind of what that's what it is.
That was your whole weekend.
You damn right it was. Shit. I wrote sounding type of thing with the bowls and the mallets and such and chimes and such.
Yep.
Eating fruit today. I'm told that I'm allowed to eat my snacks, but nothing after 3 p.m. So I had to stop around 3 p.m. Lunch that day. Are you familiar with Texas caviar?
No.
It's like black beans, corn, bell pepper, onion, lemon juice.
Okay.
And then she served it in lettuce wraps. It was very vegan centric, right? Yeah. It was delicious. Mm. It was. Corn was a fucking choice, considering what we were doing that evening. That fucking porta-john.
So now you have an Orbeez gun out your asshole.
Dude, not just me. Everyone. Me and fucking 14, 15 other people have an Orbeez gun out our asshole. Just fucking look like a fucking airsoft fucking pellet. It looked like an airsoft fucking fight in that bitch, man. It was a choice. I don't know if it was the right one. Like, I'm not about vegan food, man. I'm not a fan.
Yeah. I'll bet you though it probably was beneficial to not have a meat heavy diet, as all these things were exiting your body throughout the weekend.
100%.
Yeah.
After that first night, I was like, the sacrifice on the diet is worth it.
Yeah.
It does make it better. It does intensify it. It does make it more worthwhile.
Okay.
So if you're going to do this, one of my biggest pieces of advice:
just follow
the rules.
Yeah.
Just do what you're fucking told. I know it sucks. It's supposed to suck. You're sacrificing something for something bigger.
So I remember when months and months ago when you and I were talking about this, and you got all the workup material that you needed.
That was for a different organization, but yeah.
And you're like, fuck this shit, blah, blah. And I'm like, oh, dude. I'm like,
you did. You
got to play the game.
That's part of the game, dude.
Yeah.
And it's true. You got to play the game, man. If you want to sit with...
It's all about
they call her Mama Aya. If you want to sit with Mama Aya, she demands something, dude. She demands some sacrifice, and that is your comfort.
I don't even know when we talked about it. It was a while ago too, but
it was quite a while because Scott and I are both accepted to another program that's down in Peru. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
But dating all the way back, the earliest research about ayahuasca or anything like this, the ritualistic ceremony of warriors returning from battle before they're reintroduced into society. We do this in a way where it's something that could be years. I mean, 20 years since somebody came back from from essentially.
Dude, in the Amazon, they do this to pregnant women.
But they
lactating, it's important to them.
It's
like it's
almost like a mandatory, like in regards on the warrior side of things, because I haven't done much research on the pregnant side of it, for lack of a better word.
Well, because they call it the mother medicine. Mm-hmm. It's a very feminine driven medicine.
So do they do it while she's still pregnant or before?
Both.
Ooh,
both.
That's interesting.
They have like 9-year-old kids that do this shit down there.
Yeah. I mean, I'm just not. This isn't something like, oh my God, he's hooked for life.
Well, in our society, it's like that seems odd. It seems strange because it's like why the fuck would you have a child do this hardcore psychedelic? But in their society, no, that's part of their culture.
It's opening their brain to experience what their world.
I would love to talk to a child who's done this and traveled through this fucking experience.
Well, you got to think, right? The cultures where the children are doing this aren't the cultures where children have easy access to unlimited knowledge.
Yeah.
Right? So they're learning things through these
Turns out they do.
Experiences.
Turns out they do have access to knowledge.
That they're not getting taught in a traditional setting like we would here.
For sure.
You know. But to touch back real quick on the warrior before you continue.
Yeah.
It was required for a lot of cultures where guys would have to go through these experiences before they were allowed to be back with their tribes or society or cities or whatever they're in.
If I could have did this directly after, say, Fallujah,
right,
dude, the amount of turmoil and problems and shit that I would have avoided.
Yeah,
holy fuck,
big time.
Holy fuck.
But theirs was a little different than how it is nowadays.
Well, yeah.
They
were stabbing people with spears and shit, man.
No, I'm not talking about their battles. I'm talking about their experiences with whatever the medicine that they were of choice of the time and era and location.
Yeah.
But they would have to go on these journeys that push them physically and mentally to their absolute limit and then do that.
Yes. And
that was what, in if it wasn't like they had shamans that would be like, no, you're not ready yet.
And dude, even in like contemporary society, think about Christianity. Mm-hmm. Jesus did 40 days and 40 nights, right? In the desert against Satan, right? If you're a Christian, like it's the same thing that was going on, man. It's that sacrifice. Right. That's what he was doing. It really is. Like the similarities are crazy shit.
Yeah.
All right. I talked to one guy. He's like, I spoke to Jesus last night.
Yeah.
And I was like, really?
Did you go to the quinceanera?
And I was like, yeah, this was the night before that. And he was like, yeah, I had a full-on conversation. And I was like, yeah. I was like, is he a good dude? He's like, well, he forgave me. I'm like, it's kind of his thing.
Yeah.
I was like, it's kind of his thing, man.
Right.
You know, like, yeah. Like, he's like, did you have any experience like that? I was like, I didn't. This was the morning of day 2. I'm having this conversation. I was like, I didn't yet, but we'll see what tonight shows, right? Yeah. And with round 2, I had a similar experience. I didn't speak to Jesus per se, but I did have a similar experience. My intentions tonight, I'm unsure of my intentions tonight, but I'm ready for a ride. I'd like to know how to better make people laugh in order to make them happy, right?
Was this before?
This is before I took it.
Okay.
All right, so this was my intention of the night.
Now, do they have you try to figure that out beforehand? Or is that just something you did
Something on your own.
Okay.
They tell you to set your intention. Hey, remember to set your intention.
Okay.
Right? Like if you got your intention from the last night, try to explore something else, or you don't have to. That's the cool thing. You could also be like, I'm here to see where she's gonna take me.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And a lot of people did that. I want to learn from her. Whatever she wants to show me, because it's gonna show you what the fuck it wants to.
Yeah.
You don't really have it. You don't really have a choice.
Control.
You really don't, right? Like, and I made a note. It's like, make sure not to sit downwind this time from the campfire. Yep. You know, I self-administered my hape with this, and I took the dose at 11:38 on Saturday night.
Okay.
Okay. This was my 3rd dose now. Okay.
Do they wait later in the evenings for any particular reason?
They start ceremony they start with the build up right around sundown.
Okay.
I think that's a ritualistic
thing,
yeah. But you don't have to. You could absolutely do this at sunrise. You could do this at high noon. You could do this in the afternoon.
Oh, okay.
You could do this whenever.
you kind of can just choose when.
Yeah, but with us being in South Texas, it's a little bit more comfortable at night.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. I couldn't imagine doing this in the heat of the day.
I'll get to that.
Okay.
Because I did the other thing in the middle of the day. So I wrote, this dose hurt my stomach more. I think this is the difference between fasting and not.
Oh.
Like this dose fucking hurt my gut because
Yeah.
I had actually had food on my stomach at this point.
Right.
Right. And I was like, oh, fuck. Okay. You know, like.
Was it like a really bad stomach ache? Or?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, you know, like when you like, yeah, you get like fart cramps.
Yeah.
And they're just like, oh, fuck it. It takes you down for a second. And then you're like, and then it goes away.
Yeah.
It was like that, but constant.
Okay.
It sucked. And then 11:55, went to the shitter. My stomach was in knots. Might have been the best fart of my life. Vegan diets aren't good. That's so right now I'm 20 minutes in. So now I'm feeling that tingly, that fuzzy.
Yeah.
All right. I'm right where I was for the first cup that didn't work.
Yeah.
Right. And then I wrote, I'm excited to shit this vegan food out and it's coming with thunder. 12:25, I puked. I feel better. Let's go.
So almost an hour.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So again,
Yeah.
don't get me wrong. I wanted to puke right away,
But you're fighting it.
but I fought it. And I'm glad I did.
Yeah.
Because this one was amazing.
Okay.
All right. This one was the first cup of the second night was probably my best experience.
Okay.
Okay. And then I wrote either someone put something in the fire, or this is the coolest fire ever, because it was like blue and it looked like blue and green were fighting with each other. And I wrote blue and green fighting with each other. It's beautiful. Turns out somebody put one of them fucking color change logs in there. So somebody was fucking with me, right? But I appreciated them for doing it.
Yeah.
It was really, really awesome. One of the guys, he came the second night, a fucking great dude. He was a retired Navy chief.
Okay.
Who's deep into this world now, all right, and is like thinking about becoming a shaman. In order to become a shaman in this stuff, you have to take it every day for a year.
Wow.
Yeah. And I say why? Because how they say you're on a journey, where my day 2 fucking trip started was right where I'd left off. So it was like the first trip brought me from here to here.
Wow.
The next one I started here. Boom. The second day I started here. Boom.
Really?
The fourth dose, my fourth dose, I started here. Boom. Like you continue a journey. You don't ever go back. You just go forward.
Wow.
So it's like it's like moving in life.
Yeah.
Like you're just boom, 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 boom. That was so fucking crazy to experience.
Okay.
Because it's like a hallucination, but you just pick. It's like
It's like
if
when
you wake up from a dream.
Yeah.
You want to go back to that dream and you can't.
Yeah.
Yes, you can.
Wow.
Yes, you fucking can. Like that was fucking cool.
Okay.
That was really cool because it's all in here, man. It's
Yeah.
all up in your brain, right? Like there's a timeline of what happened.
Right.
And you just pick up where you left off, bro.
Oh shit.
It was cool as fuck, dude. That was awesome. And then right now I made a note, listen to the recording now.
Oh.
So here you go, Justin. I'm going to play this through my thing. This was at 1:20 a.m. So this is when I came down from my first trip. Admittedly, I did not make a lot of notes during this one. All right.
Oh, you're probably too busy.
Yeah. And this is what happened. It's only like 1:36. So hang on a sec.
How to put into words exactly the profoundness that I'm experiencing throughout this. They're good, man. People are gonna ask me, what's ayahuasca like? I'm gonna tell them, if you've ever been happy, yeah, it's that. That's what it is. That's what it is. It's just, yeah, you're fucking happy, dude. And it's enlightening, and it's colorful, and it's fucking cool, and it's all positive, man. It's all fucking positive. It's weird. It's so hard to explain how much beauty comes from this medicine, dude. This is fucking cool. I can't believe I'm calling it medicine. I'm fucking sounding like a new age hippie. Holy shit. Holy shit. There's something to this.
No
Like
shit.
it made me happy, and I'm by no means out of it. I'm definitely still very much into this right now. So, and I'm about to go take another dose, I think. So, oh man, what a privilege! What a fucking privilege, dude. Fuck yeah.
Nice.
You hear all the drums and stuff in the background and stuff, and
Yep.
people hooping and hollering and going crazy. Like, so shortly after I made that recording, one of the guys came up and was like, "Hey, Mikey, can you come back to the circle?" Because I again tried to go travel by myself. That's one of the cool things that I saw. I guess I'll get back to that. Yeah, I'll come to that later because it happened a little bit later. And then I was like, my least favorite thing is that they won't let me be alone.
Yeah.
You know, I just wanted to be by myself.
Right.
You know, and then I wrote, "People are getting riled up. I'm just trying to chill."
Yeah.
You know, and then I was like, I can feel heat radiating off the ground as I lay here. Like I was laying down and I could feel heat.
Yeah.
Like just like that. It was wild, man. This is all off first dose still. Because after they asked me to go back, I went and laid down on my blanket. I had like a blanket down there by the fire, and I laid down there, like, I was kind of away from it, and like close to the bathroom, not too close. Like, it was nice. I was strategic with my placement. And then I was like, this is where it starts getting weird, because I was definitely not out of it. I was very much into it, right? I was like, people who are capable of true violence don't have to pretend.
Okay.
Real violence, when a necessity, is valuable, but being capable of violence while showing love is worth way more.
100%.
Yeah. And that's just like, I don't remember writing that.
Yeah.
That came from somewhere.
Right.
But that was a lesson. That was a fucking, hey, you can be a violent guy,
Yeah.
but love too, dude.
Yeah.
Just be love. Like, be a fucking warrior.
Show some compassion.
But throw a little fucking love into it, and it's worth more than
Right.
just being a violent asshole. That's what I got out of that. And I was like, okay, that's a lesson.
Yeah.
That's something I learned, right? Not that it's common sense to know that,
Yeah.
but it's not. It's hard to it's easy to forget that,
Right.
right? And it was just just a reminder. You can be the fucking violent fucking alpha. Show a little love, dude.
Yeah.
All right. It's not unmanly to be compassionate, to fucking give a fuck.
Right.
You know? And I was like, okay. And then I just got dog kisses. Awesome. there was a couple German Shepherds out there. One of them's named Chorizo. He's a fucking awesome dog. And then another one was this. One of the guys brought his service dog, who was another German Shepherd, Rocky, and he's the one that came up and gave me kisses.
Yeah.
I was just like, oh, you're the best, dude.
So was the guy who brought the service dog, was he,
He's an Army medic.
but was he one of the volunteers, or was he going along with?
He was one of us, but he was the only one of us who had sat with ayahuasca before.
Okay.
Like, he had done it before.
Well, you probably don't remember and never even paid attention. What was his dog like while he was doing it?
Snuggly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the dog, so this particular animal, Rocky, was his service animal, but he was a therapy dog to everybody.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
And
They're not.
they're not just zoned in on him.
Yeah.
So he would come and snuggle with everybody.
Yeah.
Everybody who was like in like right when we needed him to. Right when we needed him, that dog would show up.
Yeah.
And I was just like, fuck yeah, man. Like, fucking awesome, dude.
Yeah.
Like, because I was starting to get a little negative because people wouldn't let me be alone. So
Yeah.
like I was laying on the ground, fucking just kind of like trying to be.
Why wouldn't they let you be alone?
Safety, I really think, and they say we want your energy and all this, but it's like, I think it's a
They want
safety
you
thing.
close.
They want you close because what happens if you wander off into fucking traffic or
Like
some
my
shit,
my
you know, like-
biggest fear. So up until talking to you about this last experience that you just had, in order to do this, it was somewhere Central America, South America, in a jungle.
yeah,
And my biggest fear was
everything that's trying to kill you.
not
Everything.
everything that was trying to kill me at all. It was what you were just saying. Like, I want I need to be by myself.
Yeah.
Like that's just the type of person I'm in when it comes to.
You and I are very similar.
I don't
in that
know
aspect, man. Like
in regards to ayahuasca, but I know in regards to other psychedelics.
yeah.
Like there's a period where I can be social, but then there's a period where hey, I got to go do my own thing, guys.
Yeah. I agree. I agree.
So my biggest fear of doing it in Central America, South America, is doing that and then not having somebody know where I'm at, and then obviously it's a jungle, and then that's the last you hear from John Simons.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
For sure, dude.
And it was just, and I could be in the best, most perfect mental state in the entire world.
Yeah.
I just wanted to explore.
And I think that's kind of that's where my mindset was too. And that's why I was like, people are ruining this for me. Like I want to be alone. Like they won't let me be alone.
I wish I could be like, just let me go 50 feet over there and tell nobody to come fuck with me.
And that's what I was doing. I was like, I'm going to my tent.
Yeah.
I'm just going to my tent. I'm right here. I'm not going anywhere.
Right.
I'm just fucking chilling, Like
Yeah.
And then I was like, I'm coming out of it at 150. Now this is my first dose.
Yeah.
So this one went from 11:30 to 150.
Okay.
So this one was fucking wild.
Yeah.
I wrote time for another shot. Now I will say that the second night's dosage, the medicine itself, was thicker.
Okay.
It was more like the sediment from the first night.
Do you think they because ayahuasca it's a combination of different things.
It's two different. Yeah, it's a vine and a leaf mixed
Do
together.
you think
correct.
that they kind of bumped it up a notch on the second night?
So we had less people.
Oh.
So a lot of people left the first night. After the first night, a lot
Really?
of people got what they needed and they fucking rolled. We didn't have the young lady from Colorado. The two guys from Nevada had took off.
Yeah. Now, was it planned that way, or was it
No.
they just decided? Hey,
They
I'm
decided
good?
I got what I needed. A lot of people left because the heat during the day on Saturday.
Okay.
You know what I mean? They couldn't handle it.
Yeah.
And then
Well, yeah,
there
they're not from
was
here.
also two guys who had family emergencies. They had to leave.
Yeah.
So the second night there was only like 6 of us.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So it was much different.
Yeah.
6, 7 of us. Like it was more concentrated, I think.
Okay.
And they gave us a little bit extra.
Yeah.
So I had like a full ass Dixie cup my first shot.
Okay.
Right. Second dose came in at 2:10 a.m.
Yep.
And then the next thing I wrote, I just scratched, I miss my wife really hard. All right. This dose, this is where shit got dark for me.
Okay.
This is where I started breaking into my fucking mental health.
Yeah.
Right? I purged hard as fuck. Like I was fucking vomiting. Demons
Yeah.
were leaving my fucking soul, right? And I'm walking around. And the people who are trying to facilitate are trying to they got like the cleansing fucking thing and sage around me and shit and all this, but I'm hot. I'm sweaty. And then I'm in Crocs, by the way. I wear my Texas Crocs.
Adam.
That's put them in 4-wheel drive.
Did you keep your headlights on?
Dude, if I had had them, that'd have been funny. That'd probably freak people out, actually. So like I'm walking around, and the next thing I know, I got caught on fire fucking twice by that fucking thing, and it would snap me out of it, and I'd be like, "What the fuck?" And they'd be like, "Oh, I'm sorry." I'm like,
By the sage?
I'm like, dude, I'm fucking hot. Get the fiery shit away from me. And I was like, God damn, dude. And then I went right back into it, right? So I pulled myself out. Well, they pulled me out of it real quick.
Was it on purpose?
No, they didn't mean to do that.
Oh, okay.
But I let them know real quick, get the fuck away from me. Because I was fucking just demons coming out. And I'm dry heaving, I'm retching and all this. And I'm sweating profusely. And then I was cold. Boom.
Yeah.
And everything was fucking silent. And it was just like, hey, go lay down. All I heard was some voice go. It was like my internal dialogue was like, hey, go lay down.
Yeah.
And I was like, all right. So I'm laying there. There was like 2 dudes that were other veterans that came through that they could come and talk to me when I was in the middle of it, and it wouldn't pull me out.
Okay.
So it was cool. It was like they wouldn't lift the veil. Like
Yeah.
it was just like I was laying there on one, and one of them walks up, and I was tired at this point. It's like fucking 3 a.m.
Right.
And I'm like, tired. I'm hungry. I'm fucked up. I'm just like, I just went through a crazy fucking purging experience and a lot of fucking like wild hallucinations and all this and stuff. And This guy walks up, Randy, great guy, fucking great guy. He walks up and he's like, "How you doing, brother?" And I don't even know why I said this, but I said it out loud, and I wrote it down because I said it out loud. It's like I didn't say it. A lady told me to say it. I heard a lady tell him, "Hey, tell him this," and all I wrote was, "Even kings get tired." Fucking weird.
Okay.
Super weird, dude. Even kings get tired. And I was like, okay. And he's like, that's the perfect thing to say. That's what Randy said. He was like, that's the perfect thing to say. And I was like, I don't know where it fucking came from. And then I kept seeing throughout all of my experiences, I kept seeing a dude in a headdress. Like a fucking, not like a American Indian headdress, but like a big, like fucking.
Like Chiquita banana headdress?
No, like a Maya fucking headdress.
Okay.
Right? Which is weird because this shit isn't Mayan.
Yeah.
Right? This isn't a Mayan type of ceremony. This is Peruvian. This is,
right.
Amazonian. But I kept seeing this dude in a headdress. Giant. Fucking giant dude in the sky kind of shit.
I mean, cultural confusion happens sometimes.
Maybe. Maybe I'm being racist. I don't know. But the thing is that he wasn't interacting with me. He was just watching me. He was just, and he wasn't watching me in like a mean way. He was just I felt comforted by him there, by his presence.
Yeah.
I was like, I feel like this guy's here. Hey man, I'm here if you need me. Okay. It was the kind of the feeling, the vibe I got off of him, right? And so I'm laying there and I would like look up at the sky, and the stars were beautiful and the clouds were moving fast, and then he would come around the fucking trees and just look at me, and just kind of be like, all right, and then randomly I'd look over this way, and he'd be over here looking at me. I'd be like, okay, and I'd look this way, and I'm like, who the fuck is this guy in the headdress?
Yeah,
I don't know. And he looked like a Hispanic dude, like a old school like Indian dude type of thing, wearing a traditional like headdress you would see like a priest wear in movies from like human sacrifices and shit, type of stuff. But it was so weird, man. I was like, I don't know who this, and I was like, who's the guy in the headdress? Because I'm real curious about that. And I wrote, I came down about 4 a.m., ate a pear and some watermelon. I got dark for a while. Thought about my mom, Haley, and the boys. That was the only thing that would really help. That's my home. Was like I would take my wedding ring off. And I would sit there like this. I would sit there like this and just fucking. And I was like, yeah, this grounded me. This made me safe. This made me safe, right? And then I wrote, Changa is next. Changa is a fancy South American name for DMT. So tomorrow starts with microdosing shrooms and then DMT because why not? Let's do all the drugs, right?
Yeah.
And that's a whole different type of thing. And then I was just kind of like writing notes down, right? First I wrote, write your fucking book. Yes, Justin, I know. I need to write my fucking book. It's and then this one was cool. I was like, I had a casual conversation with the earth. Turns out she's a pretty cool chick.
Huh.
So I'm laying on my blanket, and I reach up and I grab grass.
Yeah.
And I just grabbed it like a handful, like this, and just like tugged. And I heard, if you're gonna pull my hair, buy me dinner first. But it was a lady's voice, and I started laughing and like giggling about it. And I was like, and I started having a full on conversation with some woman. I don't know who it was.
Was this out loud or was this in your head?
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know, but I could hear it fucking as plain as I'm talking to you.
Yeah.
I couldn't see her. I couldn't tell you what she looks like, but it was her voice, and it was coming from the ground.
Huh.
And it was just a cat. It was like talking to an old friend in a bar.
Yeah.
It was just like, what's up, man? What you been doing? Oh, I'm doing this shit. Yeah, it's fucking wild, isn't it? Yeah, dude. It was just like, it was like having a conversation with just a friend.
Huh.
And I had probably like a 10-minute conversation. And it was just like, what's next? I really like this. Well, I think you should try this. Maybe you should do that, type of stuff. And just kind of giving me like guidance, type of like advice type of shit. And it felt like motherly advice.
Yeah.
It was real fucking intense and cool.
Huh.
And I thought that was wildly profound.
Yeah.
Then I laid and just kind of laid there looking at the sky for a while, just reflecting. I was like, all right, I'm fucking tripping balls. Because I'm looking around, I'm like, who the fuck am I talking to? It's just the ground, just coming out of the ground, dude.
Yeah.
It was amazing. It was amazing. So I laid down at 5:30. The roosters were awake. Just pissed in a jug. Been a while since I did that. Fucking, and I wrote this at 6:12 a.m. Just remembering something awesome. I could see every wound, cut, or scrape that I've ever had on my hands. That was the light.
Oh.
It was every cut that I've ever had. If I had a scrape from when I was 10, I saw it.
No shit.
Because it's all in here.
Yeah.
You remember all that
Yeah,
shit.
yeah.
It's just deep.
Right.
If I had, like, sure, like the one from the wound from the mortar round, that
Yeah.
was there, but so was this one. And I cut myself the night, that night on the porta-john handle, right? And I'd scrape that. That one was glowing. Fucking every wound I've ever had, it was just my hands.
Wow.
So all those lights, and it looked like a henna tattoo I was talking about earlier.
Yeah.
It was scars. It was cuts.
Wow.
From my entire fucking life in my hands.
Huh.
And it was like I could see every wound / cut / scrape that I've ever had on my hands. They were glowing white. Injuries from childhood all the way until today.
Wow.
And I read into that as remember who you are and where you've been so that you can know where you're going. And it was deep as shit.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that was the end of day 2.
Okay.
But that's what that was. Because every time I get high, I always, like, when I get fucking super high, I always look at my hands. Because it's almost like a home base.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know anything in this world better than I know the palms of my hands. Like, the hand, like, we look at our hands, both front and back. Like, I know it like the back of my hand. It's a saying for a reason.
Right.
Right? Because it's true. Like,
Yep.
we do. And so, like, I could always, I know if these look normal, I'm good.
Yeah.
If there's something off with these, I'm not good. Like, one thing the night before, I lost these 2 fingers for a while. I just couldn't see them. Like, this was when I was like giggling and I was like, fuck yeah, man. Like, this is when I was like during happy phase. Like I just lost these 2 fingers. Like, I could feel them and I was like, I know they're there. Like, logically, I know they're there, but I couldn't see the fucking things. So I'm just like, hey, what's up, dude? I look like a Ninja Turtle. It was so much fun, dude. Like, so yeah, that was day 2. That was day 2, but wildly more intense.
Yeah.
But the most interesting thing was the scar thing on my hands and the fact that I would change, that I would just continue.
Okay.
I would pick up right where I left off every time.
Yeah.
That was cool, and that was my ayahuasca journey, right?
Wow.
So on the last day we did changa,
Yeah.
which is it's a mix of ayahuasca and DMT. Ayahuasca is used as the OBI inhibitor.
Okay.
Basically makes it last longer because normally when you smoke DMT, it's more like a flower. Like you smoke it like a regular, like a weed pipe.
Yeah.
Right. Like the guy was like, "You smoke weed, right?" I was like, "Yeah." He goes, "Good. I'll let you carve it." And I was like, "Oh, thanks." And so I was like he's like, "You know how to do this." So yeah. But a lot of other people who don't, maybe, and because we had some older people there.
Yeah.
Like, I was by no means the oldest guy there. Like
Yeah.
we had dudes in their 60s.
Really?
Oh yeah. Yeah, like
Huh.
Randy's in his 60s.
Yeah.
Fucking great. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. That shit,
Yeah.
we need to fund this shit.
Okay.
This shit needs funding.
So how did you take it? What was it a drink? Was it
Changa,
smoke?
smoked it. I smoked a bowl. I hit it once.
Okay.
Smoked a bowl. Yeah. But what he did was I wanted to take everything out of my pockets, get rid of everything. My book, my phone, fucking everything.
Yeah.
And I put it in my chair. I was like, I'm leaving everything from life in that chair. Threw it in my hat, set it in the chair, whatever. Interesting enough, just so happened like where my chair was seated, it was directly across the fire pit from an air mattress where we were doing because it's one person at a time, right?
Yeah.
Because DMT usually lasts about 5 minutes.
Yeah.
This one lasts about 10 to 15.
Okay.
So it takes a little bit longer, right? The DMT, most people experience this blast off feeling, right? Where like you go fucking surfing the cosmos and all this and shit, right? I didn't have that
Yeah.
because I didn't want that.
Okay.
I wanted to stay present in the moment and see what's going around here.
Yeah.
You know, I wanted to see what's going around here. And this is where I wrote. This is some of the best writing I've ever written after this experience, right?
Yeah.
When it was fresh in my mind. I wrote vibrant colors. This is awesome. I could see the movement in the trees, not as in the trees move, but as in like I could see movement inside the trees. I could see life itself traveling through the tree, little pieces of light going up and down from the ground up into each leaf, everything,
Yeah.
right? And I was just like, it was fucking amazing. The grass, the sky, all the best shades of their colors I've ever seen. Just vibrant. Everything was turned up to 11.
Yeah.
It was a solid mix of fear and freedom, like being shot at again.
Okay.
That's what it felt like. I feel as though I understand addiction way better now, always chasing the vibrance of life and always falling just short. I didn't blast off into space. I stayed in the moment, eyes open, enthralled with the experience. At one point, I looked towards the seat. I left all my things in front of my pockets, and I saw nothing but abstract shapes. Material possessions seemed to remain abstract, while everything that was living or that was natural was vibrant. Everything that wasn't natural seemed dull and blocky. But people, trees, fire, rocks, and Chorizo, the German Shepherd, were all shining and bright. It was really a truly inspiring adventure. I would look up and I would see like people sitting on chairs, and they were all bright and shiny and crazy and wild. And then the chairs looked like fucking Minecraft blocks. It was like it was just like bleh, bleh. It was just real dull. Anything that wasn't natural. Even the rocks were vibrant. The fire was amazing. Like everything. And in front of all of this, it was like a net of like like the bandana pattern.
Okay.
It's kind of like the bandana pattern.
Yeah.
Right? Like that weird fucking like swirlies and
paisley
shit.
almost.
Like paisley,
Yeah.
kind of like that. But it was like a translucent net. Like you could see through it.
Okay.
But it was like if you had made like if you took like silicone and like made like a net out of like clear silicone, or you could still see through it, but you knew it was there.
Yeah.
It was like that everywhere.
Okay.
And it was one of the best fucking moments of my life. Like I've never looked at life like that.
Yeah.
Through that lens. That Changa shit is fucking wonderful. And there's no puking and shit in your pants involved. That was really, really nice. That's a perk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a
for
perk.
sure a perk. Then I wrote, appreciate what you have, but don't dwell on it because you can't take it with you. And that's the last thing I wrote for the weekend.
Nice.
Yeah. It was a fucking ride, man.
Yeah. So what time did you get out of there on Sunday?
I left right about noon.
Okay.
Yeah, I left right about noon.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was life-changing, dude.
Yeah.
Like, and the funny thing was I woke up today and I felt better than I have in probably 20 years.
Okay.
Like I just felt
Physically, mentally?
both.
Yeah.
Refreshed, centered, driven, motivated, fucking. I was like, I feel correct again. And I haven't felt that. Honestly, I haven't felt that since I got fired. Since I got fired from Grunt Style.
Yeah.
That's what fucking sent me down a fucking dark ass path again, right? Because it's like that was an embarrassing fucking moment for me.
Yeah.
You know? And I think that's what triggered a lot of fucking trauma in my brain. Not me being me, because like we compartmentalize so well to bring this full circle. You know, I just shoved that shit down, whatever. You know, I'll talk a little shit, I'll act tough, da 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 da. But that fucked me up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Knowing that I'm not wanted.
Right.
It's not a good feeling, but from anybody, you know, for anybody, you know, it's terrible. So like that really, this experience, I'm fucking ready, man.
Yeah.
Let's fucking thumbs up. Let's do this type of shit. Like, let's go. You know, like I'm excited to fuck. That's what I woke up feeling like today.
Yeah.
Which I don't even think you can put a price tag on that.
No. It's hard to wake up and feel that way.
Dude. Yeah. Yeah. When was the last time? Be honest with yourself and ask. When was the last time I woke up in a great mood? It's fucking hard.
I can tell you.
Can you?
Yeah.
When?
When I was in Rotan.
Oh. Yeah. Yeah. And you know, and things like Warfighter scuba diving, skydiving for me, like things like that, like those moments. Mm-hmm. These are all great forms of therapy, right? They're all, you get the same benefits out of this. This one is just, it's drinking from a fire hose.
Right.
That's what ayahuasca and changa really is it's drinking from a fire hose. Instead of doing 20 years of therapy, you're getting it in a night.
Yeah.
You know, that's what it feels like.
Yeah.
Like you're getting the fucking, all right, bitch, let's go. like, you know, type of thing. It's wild, man.
So go through the entire experience. Were you ever led in a direction? Like, was somebody, an outside influence, directing you down a path? Or was it just take this and enjoy your ride?
Like the people around me or like within the trip?
The people around you.
No. No, it's on you.
Okay.
It's completely on you. This is a fucking self-driving machine, dog.
Okay.
Like once it's on you, you are the fucking, you hold the keys.
Yeah.
You are the one. If you want to go through that door, you can go through that door. If you don't, stay in the moment.
Okay.
Like when I did the Changa, I could have closed my eyes and fucking went and blasted off and talked to aliens. Probably. There were some people who I think did.
Yeah.
There was, and I'm because like I didn't cough when I hit it. You know what I mean? Everybody else is coughing it out and shit because
first time.
can't imagine why. You know, like shit. You know, like so it was like whatever. You know, like I when I hit that one, and that was fucking wonderful. I have a picture of me. One of the guys fucking snapped a pic of me doing it. Actually,
I have a picture of you as
you
well,
do.
sir.
You have a picture of me. Yeah, you have a picture of me on DMT. This was way better than that. This was a way better experience. I did not have like the experience that I had.
Yeah.
When my stupid ass did it, it's fucking St. Patty's Day on a patio at a bar because I'm dumb. The fucking dumbest thing imaginable.
You're like, I'm going to do this, and I'm like, I'll be here with you, bud.
Yeah, fucking.
I got you.
Yeah, I just sat on that thing. That was me in the middle of my Changa trip, just fucking.
Attaboy.
And my stupid ass was wearing these until I laid down, and then I was like, "He's hurt my head," and I pulled them off in the middle of the trip.
And you're like, whoa.
Here's the thing: the colors didn't change. They were like these things did nothing.
Yeah.
Like they did nothing.
That's fun.
Like it was fucking wild, man. Like it was awesome.
Nice.
10 out of 10, buddy.
Yeah.
10 out of 10. I'm excited to. I'm gonna bring you along on your journey there as well, dude. I'd love to. You know, I think guys like you and I, and Scott, and you know, like fuck, people who have seen some of the worst parts of humanity.
Right.
You know, we've seen people do terrible shit, and we've probably done some terrible shit ourselves.
Yeah.
The shit we're not proud of. There's a path. There's a path to get through it.
Yeah.
And that's really what I think ayahuasca does. Is it doesn't fix your problems for you, but it'll show you the fucking path because you know the path. You know how to do it. It's
Right.
up here.
Right.
It just opens that door and goes, this is how you circumvent it. And there's a path for everything. Like if I wanted to be the producer of this show and take Justin's job because he was getting promoted someday.
Right.
All right. There's a path I could learn to do that.
Yeah.
Right. And there would be a right way to do it and a wrong way to do it. And it just showed you the right way to do it. Like if I wanted to be the fucking CEO of fucking Microsoft, there's a path for me.
Yeah.
I mean, sure. Is it a lot of work? Fuck yeah.
Oh, anything worth it's a lot of work.
Exactly. But there is a path, and it'll show you how to circumvent shit like that. And I think guys like with mindsets like yours, you would fucking benefit
Oh yeah.
amazingly from this, dude. Because you're already analytical as shit in the way you fucking approach things with open mind and just like.
But
things
I'm
like
also
that.
kind of. It's also scary.
Oh yeah. But
You know, like
one thing I've noticed as I get older, I don't fear anymore, man. Like fear makes me feel alive.
I'm not fearing fear. I'm fearing facing what's in my brain.
Yeah.
You know, like I'm not afraid. And I know in the moment I'm going to welcome it because it's something that I have to do.
Yeah.
But leading up to it, there never will be a time where I'm ready to face it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I'm not going to be like, okay, I'm ready right now. You know what I mean? Because still in the back of my mind, it's going to be like, you fucking sure? You know what I mean?
I think part of the reason I had a little bit of a negative experience the second night, for the second night, second dose.
Yeah.
Second night, part 2. Right? Is that what we're calling it? All right. I think part of the reason that I had a little bit of a negative experience for that one, when I got real dark, is because I was nervous when I took it.
Okay.
I was a little nervous to take it. Plus, he fucking filled it to the brim.
Yeah.
And it was real thick.
Yeah.
Like, it was... it tastes so bad.
Even though it got intense.
Yeah. Like camping.
Would you do it again knowing that was a place you were going to go back to?
Yes.
Okay.
Because I already got through it, and I know I'm going to start my journey right where I fucking left it.
Yeah, but like... Okay.
Yeah. Because it's like, it's just like life. What happens when you get scared during life?
So you get it either freezes you and you're stuck, or you get through it and everything's fine.
Same thing, man.
Yep.
Fucking keep rolling. Keep on cruising through.
Right.
You know, and that's kind of, yeah. Like I took a selfie right before I made that recording by the way. This was me laying in my tent.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And I'll send that to you, Justin, so you can throw it up. I don't mind. And so, but yeah, that's it in a nutshell, dude.
Awesome.
It was fucking wild, bro. It was wild.
Nice. Well, I can't wait to talk to you like in the next coming weeks and months to see how this experience has impacted just the day to day, the everything, just how your outlook, just to see how it's affected everything that you do moving forward.
Well, I mean, my original request to you guys still stands. If I turn into a fucking hipster douchebag, punch me in the face and bring me back. So, I don't want it to change me. I still want to be me.
Yeah, no, I don't think it's going.
But I want to be a better version.
Right.
That was all it was.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the people that lose themselves with this experience are people who didn't know who they were before.
I agree with that.
And not meaning like,
or they were just putting up a facade the whole time.
That is kind of where I was going with it. Like
it's that weird, we all wear masks type of thing.
Well, I mean,
mentality,
and
but
it's true. Everybody has a mask in some way, shape, or form. But some people, there's nothing behind it, right? You pull that mask up, and it's a ghost. So the people that come back from this and they have a completely different personality, for lack of better words, are the people that didn't have a face beforehand. They were hiding behind whatever it was. And so on the backside of it, that's who they're supposed to be.
Yeah.
And it's just such a drastic difference of who they acted like they were beforehand.
Well, I think
that's why.
Like authenticity.
Yeah.
Right? Like if you're not presenting your true authentic self out to the world all the time, and you do this, you're going to have a drastic change because it's going to bring out your authentic self.
Right.
You know? Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think I agree with you 100%. I think people who are like weirdly changed by this and people like notice it. Like we know people who it's affected and they've been weird. You know, they've been weird since.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, maybe it's because they were weird the whole time. They just were afraid to know it. You know, maybe what we're seeing now is the normal of what who they actually are, and before that was weird.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm enlightened now, dude. Obviously.
Right. No, and it's not. You know, you had an experience that puts things into a different perspective for you.
Yes.
And the only people that can talk shit about that are the people that haven't had an experience that puts things in perspective for them.
Correct. Wait till we tell Jazz. Can't wait for that one. Like, oh, you mean you took a drug and you hallucinated?
So
yes, Jazz.
I wanted my reasoning behind wanting to sit down with just you and I to talk about this and record.
Yeah.
Was so that you could stay on track.
Yeah.
Right. If there were other people that were sitting here, more questions would have been asked and you wouldn't have been able to tell your experience.
I agree.
Right. Like my curiosity can help you tell your story.
I feel like you're also a student of this sort of like.
I want knowledge.
Yeah. You're a
So
student. You're a student of life. Like,
I want to know everything that you just experienced.
You're a sponge.
Yeah.
Yeah, like and you and I are very, very similar in that aspect. Always have been, right? Like, and that might be why you and I click very well, is because we're always like, we want to learn,
right?
You know, we show up to shit. We want to learn how to do it.
Yeah.
You know, we want to get our hands dirty too.
Yeah.
You know, and like that's like with this stuff. Like the reason why I was given this necklace and stuff like that is because I got in there and I was like, I want to learn how to do this. How do I present? If I wanted to serve you this, how do I do it? And teach me the ritual and stuff. I want to stay within your guys' customs. Yeah. Because I don't want to be disrespectful.
Right.
You know.
But I want to know the right way and I want to know the why.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
You know, like that's the big thing. What's the why?
Yeah.
Yeah. And no, I appreciate it, dude. I really do. When you mentioned it last week, I knew exactly why you were doing it, and I was like, I think it's important. That's why when I called you yesterday, it's like we're doing the I think I texted you. I was like, we're doing the fucking podcast tomorrow.
Because
like,
before you left, I'm like, hey, good luck this weekend.
Yeah.
I was like, when you get back, let me know when and if you want to record.
yeah, and right away, I was
And
like,
immediately you're like, we're doing this.
yep, I was like, because I also know me and Mr. Poster Child for TBI here. I don't want to forget anything, and I want something I could reference, something I can come back and go, remember where the fuck you're at, dude.
Yeah.
You know. Luckily for now I can just go sit with Mama Aya for a while and fucking probably come right back.
Yeah.
So,
Right?
yeah.
You know.
And I am invited back to help and I plan on helping and volunteering and getting involved and trying to bring other people to this type of world, man, because I genuinely think there are a lot of dudes that I know and women that I know that will fucking benefit greatly from this.
Question for you.
Sure.
Would it have been a different experience if you did it with people? If you did it and there were people there that you knew versus going there and not knowing anybody previous?
I don't know.
Would you go into it as open or would you be partially closed off because...
That's a good question.
You know what I mean?
That's a very good question. Like, it was comforting knowing, like the first night Carlos was there, and I know him. Yeah. Right? He's a fellow Marine. He's like, I've hung out, like, we've interacted before. I don't know him. We're not, like, fucking very, very close. Right. But I knew him well enough that I was comfortable around the dude. He's a brother guy, right? Like, you know, like, him being there was actually kind of nice because when I was confused about something or anything, I could like, you know, without being disrespectful towards the ceremony or anything, I could be like, hey man, what the fuck are they talking about? Or what are they doing? Or why is this dude being extra? Or whatever. Because there is always one. Yeah. There's always somebody who's a little extra, right? Or there was one dude who like kind of made it about himself when it was his turn to do shit, but as soon as he was done, it's like he was disrespectful. Okay. You know what I mean? And I noticed it. You know, like during the Changa ceremony, like they walked around, they were like, hey, just try to keep it really quiet. We want this. We don't want to affect the person who's going under and all this and stuff. It's during the day. It's kind of an odd ceremony. They don't usually do it during the day. Right. I'm glad they did. Yeah. You know, but like, you know, all this, and it was like cool. And then there was one guy there that like while another after he went, the next guy while he was he's like dragging his cot up and making noise, and he turns on his phone and his fucking video starts playing loud, and he turns it down, and it's just, and I was just like, I was like, dude, like, what are you fucking doing, man? Like that. Like, you know, it was like, come on, man. Like show respect. That's really the big thing, right? Like this is the custom of these people. These people, like, now granted, they are Americans. They fucking, like, you know, this is a custom that they've adapted. Yeah. But it's still their custom.
It's still a custom.
It's still a custom. And I'm not going to come to their house and be a bad guest. Yeah. You know, if they're being wonderful hosts, I'm not going to be a bad guest. Right. A bad guest, you know, like, so, and I was very, very comfortable knowing that I could go off to the side with a guy who I could be. Right. I could be like, hey, John, what the fuck is this, dude? Like, it'd be like if we were in Roatan and something weird about scuba diving and I didn't want to piss off Nick. And I'd be like, John, what the fuck? Can you explain this on my level? And you'd be like, yo, it's like this. It's like, oh, okay. Got it. Right. Yeah. You know, like cut out the fucking fat and talk to me. Right. Type of shit. Yeah. And so that was kind of nice. And I think that's the value I bring to this is that I can pull the veil back. Like there was one kid I thought was about to seize and freak out on that Changa shit, and there was at a certain point he hit it 3 times. Yeah, he fucking he triple carbed it by accident because he's also a weed smoker. And he went real fucking deep. He probably talked to aliens. That fucking kid was out. He was out for like 15-20 minutes. Yeah, laying there, and he was like freaking out and shit. At a certain point, I stood up and was like, and this is after I'd already done mine. Like I already know the intensity that he's going through, right? And I was like, I might jump in there and check this kid's fucking pulse. You know what I mean? And make sure that we're fucking good. Yeah. You know what I mean? Because there does need to be a grown up in the room. Right. You know, and that's like just paternal instinct was like, whoa. Yeah. Watch that shit. You know, like type of thing. So, yeah, man, it was something else, dude. Something else. You know, but I hope that I bring value to the ceremony if I return. You know, that's my big thing is I want to bring value. Yeah.
I don't think that's going to be hard. I think the The lack of value would be if you didn't take it seriously.
Yeah. Because admittedly, I went in with a skeptical attitude.
Oh, absolutely.
You know, I went in, I'm going to do this drug. I'm going to do drugs, man. I'm doing drugs for the weekend.
Right.
Oh, why are you fasting, Mikey? Oh, it's not a noble reason. I'm doing drugs at the end of the month. Remember?
Yeah.
I said that. I openly said that.
Yeah.
I was wrong. I shouldn't have said that.
Yeah.
You know, I'm doing this to fucking better myself, and that's really what it was.
Until you do it, though.
You don't know.
Yeah.
I don't feel like I was disrespectful because I didn't know. Because you don't know what you don't know.
Yeah. You're
You know?
naive.
Yeah, I was naive. That's what it was. It was just naivety.
Yeah.
Now I'm fucking okay. I know not to act like that. You know. I also know now how important that fucking fast is. And I'm gonna talk to her about the corn fucking lunch, man. That was like, I made the mistake of just glimpsing into the hole of despair in that porta john. Holy fuck,
Her
man.
husband was a grunt.
Yeah,
I think it was by design.
probably. He was probably like, watch this. Fucking good fucking dude though.
Yeah.
He wants to come on. He wants to come on the show.
I'd love to have him on.
I think he would do very, very well on either this show or on ours. But
Yeah,
I think he is interested in coming on and talking about it, and he could obviously provide way more insight on this than I can. You know, I
Right.
mean, he's the duty expert, man. He was my SME, you know, out there. So and he's just a fucking great guy too. Like just a real cool dude. So yeah.
Well, awesome, man. Thank you for taking the time and sitting down and
Thank you for
talking
doing this.
about
Thank
all
you.
this.
Yeah.
And I know this wasn't a very tobacco related
We talked about tobacco a little bit.
but there was some tobacco that was brought up and talked about. But one of the main reasons that I wanted to sit down and get this out, and if you made it this far and you're still here, good. This is for you. You're the person that I wanted to talk with.
Yeah.
There are options, there are avenues, and I haven't done this. So I'm speaking based on experiences of people that are around me. There are non-traditional things that you can do. Actually, this is very traditional.
There are traditional things that you can do
Yes.
that can benefit you just as much as, say, pharmaceuticals.
or more.
Or in my case, I say more.
Almost every single person I've spoken with that has gone through an experience or journey with ayahuasca, there is nothing in today's current medical field that can touch the experiences that they went through and the healing that happened.
True.
We by no means are experts on how this works, but there are plenty of avenues out there for guys and girls that can have access to this benefit.
The real experts are the shamans down in South America. Like that's the fucking.
Yep.
Those are the guys. Like if you really want questions, there are organizations out there. You can do this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it is something worth looking into. Now, this is something that it's 100% on your own.
Yeah.
Nobody can help you through this. This is you learning and fighting against you.
Yeah.
Yep.
Your biggest opponent, man, is the thing you see in the mirror.
Yeah. That's it.
You know?
And all you're trying to do is be a better person.
And that's the goal, right?
Yep.
Just stop being a piece of shit.
Yeah. Well, you don't wind up down this rabbit hole because you're not looking to improve.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, you know what? I wound up here just because I like doing drugs. Like, yeah, there might be a couple that are out there.
Sure.
But the majority of the people that wind up down this rabbit hole are people that are trying to become better.
Yeah.
In whatever capacity that is for that individual. It's different for everyone.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I have my own personal reasons of why I want to do it. Some of them are similar, but a lot of them are very different.
Sure.
You know, there's a lot of shit in my life that I need to face, and I don't know how to other than this. I've tried. It's not for lack of trying.
Oh, for sure.
You know what I
for
mean?
sure. Yeah. Don't
But
get me wrong. Like when I tell people that I'm doing this, this wasn't my first choice.
Yeah.
Like I tried other avenues. I tried therapy. I tried fucking,
Right.
talking it out and doing this. I tried the bottle. I tried the,
Yeah.
like I've tried other things, like this was just the next step. This is the next logical step for me in my personal journey towards like getting better.
Yeah.
Fucking reach out to me if you guys have questions. If you guys think of other questions or whatever, like reach out to me. Like
Yeah.
I will gladly answer some questions, man.
Yep. And that's at Hooligan Mikey on Instagram.
Yep.
Mikey Fahey on Facebook.
Yeah. Just shoot me an email too. MikeyFahey22@gmail. That's right. It's 22 for a reason. You love it. You love it. That is my professional email.
Oh, my God.
MikeyFahey22@gmail. What up?
Well, Justin, you got anything you want to throw in on this?
That was the best way this episode could have possibly ended. And once again, Mikey, you're still my favorite piece of shit.
Fucking A, dog. Fucking A.
You know, even though it might change a lot of things in your life, some things don't change after you do ayahuasca. Well, thank you guys for listening again. Happy Independence Day. I know we got a little deep on this.
Fuck yeah. Happy Independence Day.
But
Smoke your victory. Take a picture. Send it to Warfighter. Tag Warfighter.
tag us in it. We're sharing everything on our stories.
You'll see me doing it.
We'll be doing it as well. And yeah. WarfighterTobacco.com for all your cigars.
Hell yeah.
Make sure you bring them next time you do ayahuasca.
Yes. I'm gonna.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Sweet.
Cool. Well, we'll see you guys next week.
Thanks, buddy.